Another season of the NBA on ESPN is underway.
Let's go!
Deep three. Tyler Hero. Oh, he hit it.
We have a liftoff.
Leonard.
The NBA on ABC is back on Saturday night, and we kick things off renewing a storied rivalry. Lakers-Celtics, LA coming into a frigid Boston with its road dominance put on ice, trying to get back in that win column. And welcome into Hoop Stream's Prime Time. I got a couple primetime players with me. It's my big bro, Kendrick Perkins, and the one and only Chiney Ogwumike. Hi, everybody. I'm Cassidy Hubbard. Oh, you guys, we got a big show today. Ramona Shelburne will join us later to kind of dissect the MVP race. And we have singer, songwriter, and huge Lakers fan, Robin Thicke, also joining the show. So, it's popping on the Saturday night. First of all, how are you guys doing? Chiney, nice to see you again.
I know it's been a minute. I feel like H-Town, even though this is LA and Boston, H-Town is well represented on this Hoop Streams, right, Perk?
You already know. Look, I'm just so happy to be back. Listen, I got Cassidy, I got Chiney. We back live in effect. I'm ready to get the show going. Big Perk, happy to be back on Hoop Streams. Yeah, the Hoop Streams where it all started from. Look, Cassidy, I've been seeing you on the sideline. Chiney, I've been seeing you do your thing on the radio show. I was wondering if y'all forgot about old Perk, but I'm happy we back.
Never.
I don't think we see you more. I don't think we see anyone more than we see you, Perk. You're on TV all the time. And look, I'm so glad we're here on Hoop Streams because we've got a good game to look forward to. And as I mentioned, the Lakers, they've cooled off a little bit. They're on their 7-game road trip, which is typically the Grammys road trip, but the Grammys have been moved to March. But they've hit a little bit of a bump in the road, not only suffering their first road losses, but their first losing streak. And Perk, we saw you tweet that they looked horrible against the Pistons. What, if anything, have you learned about the Lakers on this road trip?
Well, it's all about the others. And to me, the Lakers got relaxed. Winning became too easy for them, and they lost their defensive identity. That wasn't the number one defense that I've been witnessing over the last 2 weeks, what they did over the last 2 games against Detroit and against I forgot who they played previously. But that wasn't the Los Angeles Lakers. And it's time for the
Sixers.
others to step up. Montrezl Harrell haven't been playing well. Dennis Schroeder haven't been playing well. Marcus Gasol haven't been playing well. So it's time for the others to step up to the plate and get back to playing basketball the way they were at the beginning of the season.
Well, Chiney, you just pointed out, Perk, that was a tough loss to the Sixers, who've been playing really great basketball with with Tobias Harris hitting that final shot. Chiney, do you have any thoughts on the Lakers and what you've seen so far?
I feel like, in the words of French Montana, don't panic, just because obviously, before those 2 back-to-back losses, they had a great road record and they did have continuity and chemistry, and they sort of looked like the team that was the team to beat in the NBA, despite all these other teams blossoming with Brooklyn and their big 3, and now the 76ers with an MVP candidate in Embiid. So right now I'm not worried about the Lakers so much, and Perk is absolutely right. LeBron James can take over whenever he wants. We saw that in that Cleveland game where someone absolutely, the Cavs exec sort of made him mad, and then he drops 46. But I think he knew that he had to get other people involved, especially when his game was slowing down, especially in that second half. I'm not worried about the Lakers. Without AD, that was an adjustment. I do think that, moving forward, they probably can't relax so much because guess what? The league is getting better and better. Teams are getting better, and they're going to try to catch up with them.
Year 18 for LeBron. It's just ridiculous. We'll get more into the MVP discussion and whether or not this is sustainable for him when Ramona Shelburne joins the show. But I do want to get a little into the Celtics. And, Perk, you have Jaylen Brown as one of your all-star starters. Today, you've been following Jaylen's career closely for a while now. So I want to get your thoughts on just the differences you're noticing in him this season.
Well, first of all, I kind of wanted Bradley Beal on there, Perk, but it's all good. We're good. They got to win, though. But, Jaylen Brown is really a special talent. And I've known him, as you mentioned, Cassidy, from our Pac-12 days, him at Cal, myself at Stanford, and he was actually friends with my little sisters. And being able to see him evolve is amazing, but it's actually what he's worked on most recently that he's sort of perfected. We've always known he's great off the dribble. He's really good in the mid-range, but he's taken that to a whole nother level this season, leading the Celtics right now and scoring at 27 points per game, just a hair more than Jayson Tatum. All of his shooting numbers are up, but more specifically, he's shooting almost twice as many mid-range a game, and he's doing it off the dribble, and that's his go-to, and he's doing it as well as anybody else in the league has done it the last few years. So his game is maturing, especially off the dribble. If I am the Lakers tonight, I'm forcing him to sort of spot up and shoot and not get in that comfort tempo dribble, because that's when he's really in his bag.
Well, he really has been the most consistent player, but that's also because you got Kemba Walker and Jayson Tatum, who have been out for, different reasons. Those three have only played just one game together. So we'll see, how the Celtics develop as they get more run with each other. And we'll see what happens if Danny Ainge does anything at the trade deadline, if he makes any changes by that March 25th trade deadline. Okay, so we'll get more into the Celtics in a bit, but first, let's just take a quick break. We'll be back after these messages.
Hi, I'm Kendrick Perkins. Please be the answer for an NBA player that's suffering right now. He needs our help. Please call the Washington Wizards right now or go online to ESPN Trade Machine and work out a trade right now. Look, for a couple of contracts or maybe some draft picks, you could rescue Bradley Beal from the worst team in the NBA. You can provide happiness, buckets, winning, and freedom. Call before the trade deadline, and the Wizards will send you Bradley Beal in this beautiful tote bag for free. This is your chance to say, I won't sit back and watch Bradley Beal suffer. Please call or go online to the NBA Trade Machine right now. Together, we can all save Bradley Beal.
Tanae, not the tote bag. Not the tote bag, Tanae. Sarah McLachlan, move over.
Hey, I'm just saying, free Bradley Beal. You got to free that man. Look, he has been loyal to this organization long enough. It's almost like being in a bad relationship when you just love someone and back. Look, it's time for him to move on. He cannot waste any more of his time just playing meaningless basketball. He deserves better. This guy's leading the league in scoring, averaging almost 35 points a game. And guess what? It's not on anybody else. It's on Bradley Beal to come out and say, it's time for a change. I'm requesting a trade. And it's also on the ownership of his agent to give him the right advice to say, you know what? I need to put you in the best position possible. And right now, this isn't it.
Tanae, so look, Beal signed the 2-year, $72 million contract extension back in October 2019. He's under contract this year and next year has a player option for 2022, 2023. Do you think he's still with the Wizards by the March 25th deadline?
Nope. I don't think he's going to be there. Sorry to that man. Sorry to that team. But honestly, Bradley Beal, like Perk said, is a unique talent that has sort of, I don't want to say if we're having issues, and I know we could potentially go there, but you don't want people wasting their prime. And his prime is so good right now that I feel like everyone's rooting for him to showcase that elsewhere. And so, I'm here with free Bradley Beal, time to deal Bradley Beal. And we just saw what James Harden was able to bring back in a trade package that was huge for the Rockets. Bradley Beal is 27, I believe, years old compared to James Harden's 31. You can rebuild with the haul of assets that you can get for his value. So while you might love him and appreciate him, like Perk said, the relationship is a little bit like, you know, when you have those relationship music and you know it's coming to an end, it's like you play the song "End of the Road." That's where we feel like we are when it comes to Bradley Beal right now.
But here, Tanae and Perk,
Right.
Here's my thing. When did our energy change? Remember just a couple years ago when people were burning jerseys, calling people snakes for people moving in free agency? And now we have guys like Harden, Anthony Davis, Paul George in contracts asking to get out of their contracts. When did our energy change?
Well,
Why is the mood changed as far as commitments for contracts? And we're basically cheering these moves on, as opposed to a couple years ago when we would get mad at guys for making the business decision, which they're allowed to in their business contract, to leave in free agency, Berg.
Well, here it is. It's only certain ones that I applaud and I agree with, because once, as a player, once you have given everything that you possibly can to a franchise, come in and night out and perform at the highest level, and they're not doing right by you as far as providing the pieces to support you, to help you win a title. Like, you look at Anthony Davis' situation and Bradley Beal, they wasn't put in position to be successful. And I felt like just those two incidents alone, those two situations, I felt like it's time for change. Anthony Davis, he needed to get to a bigger market. Bradley Beal, it's time for him to go to a contender. He has been faithful to this Wizards organization long enough. And again, Cassidy, he's leading the league in scoring 35 points a game, and it's not even going to a great cause. There's so many contenders out there that could use a Bradley Beal, and Bradley Beal could use them also.
Well, quickly, Perk and Tanae, Perk first. Where do you want to see him go?
To be honest, I would like to see Bradley Beal go to the Philadelphia 76ers. I would like to see a head-up trade for him and Ben Simmons. I think that will put the 76ers over the top and will put them a heavy favorite over the Brooklyn Nets in coming out of the Eastern Conference.
You know, I kind of like that too, just because the number one question to raising the Sixers to championship caliber has been their shooting. And while they have got shooters here and there, even inclusive of Seth Curry this year, Bradley Beal will take them over the edge. That takes away the limitations on offense that Ben Simmons sometimes presents. And now you're really there to compete. And now you're also maximizing on another talent, Joel Embiid, that could potentially take on Brooklyn, Milwaukee, and even contend with those in the West. So I'm not mad at that, Perk.
Man, Ben Simmons can't get out of these trade talks. I mean, I don't know if it's been affecting his play as of late. I don't know if the James Harden trade messed with him a little bit because, he hasn't been the offensive force that we've been seeing. But I don't know. We'll see what develops with Bradley Beal. He hasn't requested a trade as of yet. I don't know if his wife has on Twitter, because that's something that we're seeing some stuff out there. But, we will be paying close attention as the March 25th deadline approaches. But tonight we're paying close attention to what's happening with the Lakers and Celtics as we see Kemba Walker, warming up right now. Tristan Thompson, he was Boston's big free agent pickup this summer, and I actually spoke with Tristan a little earlier and about him being the missing link and presence inside they need to help him in the postseason. And he also talked about the lessons he's learned from his opponent tonight, LeBron James, and how he's applying it to his time with the Celtics. Take a listen.
I was just so lucky to be able to be a part of those three different eras. I think for me, being with LeBron for those last 4 years, it just shows you what the great players do. And being around LeBron, the first year, right after Labor Day, he was in the gym, ready to go, and training camp doesn't start till 3 weeks later. So he was in the gym. So I was like, wow, me and Kyrie, we thought we worked hard. We're like, this guy is in a full drenched sweat before 10 a.m. And we're like, okay, so this is what the greats do. And I think for me, learning that and being a sponge, and I even texted LeBron when I made my decision to the Celtics. I texted him and said, everything you taught me those 4 years and even prior to that, with that relationship, I want to basically pay it forward to these guys like Jayson and Jaylen and Marcus, because these guys all have potential to be very good in our league. And you've seen how great, Jayson is, and Jaylen is, in my opinion, he is an all-star talent, and Marcus Smart's got better every single year in his career. So for me, I told Brown, everything you taught me, I want to just pay it forward. And I think that's what this league is about. If you're able to play with great players and learn stuff from them, you should pay it forward, because that's how you keep things going, and it's just great for our league.
Be honest. What was your reaction when you saw a then rookie, Jayson Tatum, not only dunk on LeBron, but then flex in his face in those 2018 playoffs?
That was an honor. No, so to be honest, if you guys watch the film, Jayson blows by me on the X, so they're swinging to Jayson on the wing. I'm the closeout on Jayson. So I do a hard closeout. Jayson rips by me. So I guess you could say it's technically my fault because I didn't keep Jayson in front of me for when he dunked on LeBron. So I must have been wheeling and dealing. I must have knew something was gonna happen a couple years from now. So I wasn't wheeling and dealing to get Jayson on my side. So it was crazy. But his development plan.
And we now welcome in someone who will be rooting hard against Tristan and that Boston green. He's in his Lakers jersey. We got singer-songwriter Robin Thicke, whose new song, Take Me Higher, will be featured in the open of tonight's game. And you are all decked out. You're ready for the game, aren't you, Robin?
Oh, you know this. You know this. I'm born and raised in LA, so I'm diehard Lakers right now.
You are a diehard Lakers fan, so that makes you a reigning champ yourself. How did you feel watching that championship and them winning the bubble in the summer?
And everything that we went through, losing Kobe, and I mean, it was just so beautiful to have some love in the city. Everything we all had to face, but it's been nice that we get to honor Kobe with a championship.
Absolutely. And Robin, this is Chanae here. I am newly now a full-time resident of Los Angeles. And when it comes to, the Lakers, that championship that you're so proud of, you can also throw how cool was it for you to see LeBron James deliver in that moment so quickly? What is it, year 2, now 3 with the Lakers and in the city?
Well, I mean, the best of the best. Hold on, my daughter's running up from outside. The best, how it goes, and LeBron is one of the best ever to do it, and he's filling some great shoes. I grew up watching Magic, then I had the honor to watch Kobe. Now I get to watch LeBron. So us Laker fans are very blessed when it comes to getting to watch the very best.
Robin, you're really flexing right now. I'm in New York City. It's 20 degrees. You're outside. You got that beautiful sunset going. You're sleeveless, sun's out, guns out. But getting ready for this game and getting ready to hear yourself leading into this game, because like I mentioned, your song Take Me Higher is the new promo for ABC Primetime, continuing really a career-long run of collaborations with ESPN. But what was your reaction when you heard that the song was going to debut before one of the most storied rivalries ever, Lakers-Celtics?
Oh, I'm so honored and blessed. I mean, everything is icing on the cake, and to be a part of my sport that I grew up playing, and I never miss the NBA play. This is just an amazing new season for the Lakers, so I'm very excited. Very excited.
Just before I let you go, are Lakers back-to-back champs this year? I know this is probably a toss-up question, a freebie here.
If Kendrick is right, and if Philadelphia can get Bradley Beal, I don't know. That's going to be. But besides that, I'm looking at a Brooklyn LA final, man. I think that's great for all the fans. I think everybody wants to see KD back in the finals up against LeBron. That's what we want. That's what we want.
Robin, Big Perk here. I got one question, right? So, the Wahlbergs are big Celtics fans, and I know you're a huge Laker fan. Was it any type of gentleman's bet during those times when I was part of that Celtic rivalry when we was playing against the Lakers? By the way, you owe me a free something. Send me something in the mail because I had delivered y'all championship in 2010. But I want to know if it was a gentleman's bet going on between you two guys, between you and the Wahlbergs.
No, we're all friendly, but they're gonna owe me some burgers by the end of this game.
Well, you're going to kick things off again, like I said, ahead of this game. Thank you for hanging out on Hoop Streams. Again, you can hear Robin's song, Take Me Higher, on ABC tonight at 8:30 Eastern. Make sure to grab his highly anticipated 8th studio album, On Earth and in Heaven, out February 12th. Thank you so much for joining us, Robin.
God bless you all.
Appreciate
Have a great
it.
night.
Enjoy that sunshine. Man, I'm jealous. So, Robin.
That trip was crazy.
I mean, I had 2 pairs of gloves on today walking to the grocery store, but that's another conversation for another day. Like I said, Robin will get us set tonight as we're getting you guys ready for Celtics Lakers and that rivalry renewed. And look, it's a historic rivalry that I really just can't put into words. So why don't you just check this out?
This is the NBA's marquee matchup between the 2 most successful franchises in NBA history.
It's the Los Angeles Lakers against the Boston Celtics.
The Celtics and the Lakers get ready for basketball battle.
The lull before the gathering storm. Ahead to Tatum, 1 man to beat. Oh, and he throws it down. Just exploded at the end of that. Backs in, falling away. Got it. LeBron James. That's a huge shot. All right, good. Celtics fans hate the Lakers. The Lakers fans hate the Celtics. Undefeated rivalry, the best in the game. A wild game, a terrific game here at Staples Center. Alley-oop to AD. Rebound. Garnett. Jaylen Brown for the flush. This is one for the ages. History is unfolding in front of our eyes.
Everybody just get ready, sit back, and let's enjoy it.
That's one. Let's go.
As you saw, the Lakers-Celtics rivalry has been star-studded throughout history. There may not be a bigger star in all of sports than that guy right there, LeBron James. And each team tonight, their dynamic duos, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, they're producing over 50 points per game on offense this season. So we'll see what we have in store tonight as we're counting you down to Lakers-Celtics, 8:30 p.m. Eastern on ABC. And to help us get ready for this game, we are now joined by NBA insider and ESPN senior writer Ramona Shelburne. And you guys, you can check out. Hey, Ramona. Make sure to check out Ramona, who recently joined the Woj Pod to remember the life of Kobe Bryant. That is such a important listen. Also, you wrote an incredible piece back in December about the maturation of Joel Embiid, which we're really starting to see play out this season. And I want to start there. Is he your front runner for the MVP right now?
You know what? LeBron James is my front runner. I think it's his to lose, and for 2 reasons. Look, I think after last season when he called out everybody who didn't vote for him, okay? He's kind of putting it on the voters. He's kind of saying like, hey, I'm still here. And LeBron is having almost a better season this year. He's shooting 50% from the floor, 41% from 3, 25.5 points a game, almost 8 rebounds a game, 7.5 assists a game. I mean, across the board, great. Hasn't had any kind of championship hangover. And I think also it's almost like a makeup MVP front runner, right? Because like people feel a little bit bad by the way last season ended. And he called out the media. Now you're talking to somebody who did vote for LeBron last year for MVP, so I'm like, I know, I voted for you. Okay,
let him know, Momo. Let him know.
I think Embiid is right there. I think it's 3 guys right now. I think it's LeBron James, and it's his to lose. If he keeps this pace up, if the Lakers stay right at the top of the Western Conference, I think LeBron wins it. But if Joel Embiid keeps having games like he did a couple of games ago against the Lakers, I mean, he wasn't even at full strength after LeBron undercut him and he landed on his back, and he still helped the Sixers beat the Lakers head to head. He looks like he's putting it all together. And I think, you brought that story up we did back in December. As a writer, sometimes we do these stories, Cass, and it's like, you're like, okay, I'm writing a story about how you've matured. I hope you've actually matured, right? You seem like you're matured, right? Like, don't make me look bad later.
You have matured.
And, I thought I thought fatherhood had really changed him, and he's actually backing it up on the court this year.
Absolutely. And Perk, following your Twitter feed, you're always leading the charge with LeBron James deserves more MVPs. We heard Brad Stevens kind of call people out saying that, it's just been voter fatigue. He deserves a lot more, but you have been praising Joel Embiid as well. Now, I do also want to mention that it's Luka Doncic, who was the, preseason front runner who has the second best odds for MVP. So where do you stand in the MVP race right now, Perk?
Well, I honestly believe that it is LeBron James to lose, because here it is. I was on Joel Embiid, and rightfully so. He is in the conversation because he is having the best season of his career. And I want to credit a lot of that to Doc Rivers, because he's not putting Joel Embiid in a box. He's letting him be him. He's not just saying, hey, post up. We watching Joel Embiid mix it up a variety of ways on the offensive end. I mean, he's in his bag right now. But when you look at LeBron, I think he gave us all a friendly reminder when he went for 21 in the fourth. Thanks to Jason Hillman for poking the bear. He gave us a friendly reminder and said, hey, don't start that again this year. Don't forget what I'm doing over here, still putting up 25 points a game, almost 8 rebounds a game, and 7.5 assists. And we at the top of the Western, and we one of the teams at the top of the Western Conference. And by the way, LeBron James' defense is so underrated. So he's not only giving it to you on the offensive end, he's giving it to you on the defensive end, because he ranked number 1 defensively in guarding their opponents. So when I look at what LeBron James is doing, the body of work, when I thought he was going to be load managing a lot this year, he haven't missed a single game, and he's performing at an extremely high level. So I believe he is the front runner right now for the MVP.
Well, you bring up a good point, Perk, and LeBron James on defense, because, that's energy and effort, right? Ramona mentioned he's shooting 50% from the field, career high 41% from 3, while averaging just over 25 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. We heard LeBron say he doesn't get tired. Must be nice. But is this level sustainable throughout the whole season today?
Well, if anyone can do it, it's LeBron at this point. And he just sort of is playing chess while everyone is playing checkers. And I just watched the Queen's Gambit. This season is the King's Gambit. I don't think that's a chess move, but you know what I'm saying. And what LeBron has been able to do has been evolve his game over the course of the year so that he can withstand 72 days in between seasons, from October 11th winning a championship to this new season. And what he was able to do with his game on the floor is that 3-point shot. Everyone was talking about, sort of circled that 46-point game as like, whoa, what I saw that really sort of resonated with me, those dagger threes with a hand in your face. When we first saw LeBron James in Cleveland, this was a guy with super athletic talent, sort of redefining the modern version of point forward, attacking the rim, attacking the paint, then got the mid-range. And now, especially in a year where you need to maximize your rest, he can just flex on the 3-point line. And he's shooting the ball there so much more this season and being just as effective. Obviously, that Detroit game was aberration, was not the norm. But what I see, and I agree with all three. I wanted to be that one person that was different, but why not? We're all smart together. I think LeBron James, this is his MVP to lose, but I do think the people want him probably to win it just because he could potentially win it every year, and it seems like we take that for granted so much.
And I want to talk about taking him for granted, too. Like, he is... the idea that he's doing this at this age, I mean, when he went for 46 that night, he was the oldest person to go for over 40 points since Kobe Bryant did it in his last game. Remember when Kobe got 60 in his last game?
Yep.
Kobe was 37 and like 230 days or something. LeBron is 36 and a little bit. So he's about a year and a half older. Kobe, at a year and a half older, was at the end. This is like post Achilles, post shoulder, post knee. LeBron is still the best player in basketball. That's amazing.
It's crazy. It really is.
Unbelievable. And I go back to that quote where he said, I don't get tired. Ty Lue told me that, Perk. He probably said this to you too. LeBron likes to play minutes. Like people are always asking Ty, aren't you playing him too many minutes? Is that too many minutes for LeBron? 42, 43? And Ty said, no, LeBron likes to play a lot. That's how he gets in shape. That's how he feels strong so that when he gets to the playoffs, and everybody's got to do it, he's been doing it all year.
All I'm going to say is I'm fanning myself because it's like that First Street Baptist Church sermon on Sunday when they get hot in there when the preachers start preaching that good gospel. It's nothing but the gospel going on right now.
Oh, my goodness. Good news for Lakers fans. Anthony Davis is in the starting lineup as well as LeBron James, who are both listed in the injury report. So we will see pretty much all the big stars out there tonight. And quickly, as before we say goodbye, Perk, who do you got tonight? Celtics or Lakers?
I got the Lakers tonight. They're not going to lose 3 in a row. LeBron James don't like to lose to Boston, so I think he's going to take this game personal.
Janae?
I've got Lakers too, Cass. Yeah, just because you can't lose 2 big primetime games against top teams in the East, I got the Lakers.
Ramona, you going Kings?
Yeah, I'm
going
to make it a hat trick. I think the same thing.
There we go.
I can't see them lose 3 in a row, especially when they had an off day.
All right, make sure to check out my girl Janae and Golick on ESPN Radio. Also, her new podcast, First Take, Her Take. You can see Perk basically on TV every single day. And then check out Ramona, of course, on ESPN.com. To watch Lakers Celtics live on the ESPN app, log into your cable provider now. Hoop Streams Primetime will be back next week for Warriors and Mavericks. See you guys later. Enjoy the game.
See ya.